Okay, here we go for our first legal private electric scooter ride in Victoria since the Victorian government updated the legislation. So for the next 6 months, hopefully more, we can ride electric scooters in Victoria. Yippee! Now this ride today takes us from Templestowe, near where I live, across to Eltham, and I thought I'd drop into McDonald's and get a Happy Meal since it's a happy day. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is do a left-hand turn here. First issue that I've got is whether or not you're allowed to legally ride in the bus lane on an electric scooter. Because yes, there are some differences between riding an electric scooter and a bicycle, but I'm sure those laws will become clear, crystal clear, or as clear as mud, as they say, as we go along. That road next to us, Williamson's Road, is a 80km/h road, and you're not allowed to ride on anything above 60 kilometres. 60 kilometres and below. One person on the scooter, and you have to wear your helmet, and you're not allowed to ride faster than 20 kilometres an hour. Is capable of doing 25. But we'll keep it to 20 kilometres an hour or below. You can't ride on footpaths, but you can ride on this type of footpath, which is a shared bicycle walking path. In Tasmania you can ride on footpaths, bicycles as well, and I think that's a good idea. I think, okay, let's phrase it. Rephrase it. I think riding on footpaths is a good idea as long as bike riders and electric scooter riders respect pedestrians. Riding on roads at 60 km/h means that you as a scooter rider, or even in some cases a bike rider, are exposing yourself to a very dangerous collision, possibly deadly collision. With cars not seeing you, not paying attention, being distracted, whatever the case may be. So if you could ride, so the real problem though is that people don't play by the rules. So small group of people will always screw it up for everybody else. So if you could ride on the electric paths or the footpaths and go past pedestrians at walking pace or close to, or because if you have a look, most paths in the suburbs are actually empty most of the time. Now I do agree that I don't think it's a good idea in the city because there's a lack of pedestrian walking paths or area already, so putting another group of people onto those paths just clutters it up even more, and the rental scooter market, just more clutter, sitting on footpaths. And frankly, my wife exited a car park door recently. I opened up the door and went to walk out, and riding along the path was a young lady, no helmet, and pulling in just past the door to park the scooter. That could have easily been an accident, an injury waiting to happen. It does also mean that pedestrians have to, when they walk out of doors, walk out of areas where they can't see, they have to now become alert. They've never had to, so it's not something they're used to doing. But just as we get used to doing everything else, it will take time and people will become, yes, you look left and right, not only to cross the road, but to exit a building onto a footpath. You should always assume that there's something, even if it's a runner jogging along. A runner jogging along, such as myself, is pretty much equivalent to getting hit by a slow bike rider or a slow electric scooter rider. So we do need to start thinking about our safety and being a bit more aware about what's around us. So I'm all for riding on a scooter, but with certain restrictions, and unfortunately I have noticed in the past that a small percentage, and to be fair, it's always a small percentage of people are not considerate of others. But also, what one person considers considerate of others may not be the same as somebody else. So it does change, because we don't all grow up with the same set of rules, the same rule book. We're all quite varied. And just look at people driving cars, people who cross intersections, go around the roundabouts. We've all got slightly different styles. In theory, we've got all been trained, but even then we have different styles. Some people like to zip around, sitting on the back sides of other cars, what they think is safe. Other people like to drive along at 40 kilometres an hour because they feel that that's safer. So even though we've got a licence and abide by the same set of rules, it doesn't necessarily mean we all behave in the same way. So the bottom line is you just have to be aware and take care of your own safety. Now I think electric scooters are great. I'll use my scooter to ride down to the local petrol station, which is for bread or milk if it's required. It will make the trip so much easier. Walking can be a bit slow and tedious. Well, it's good for you. So much easier to just jump in the car and go to a cheaper Coles 5 or 6 kilometres away instead of 1 kilometre away. But with the scooter, cost of petrol, even if it's a bit more expensive, the local petrol station becomes cheaper and faster. I also like, whilst I ride an electric bike, and I think they're very good too, electric scooters are good for those who want to take public transport, but public transport doesn't end up at your house. So you've often got a couple of kilometres to go. You could have a folding bike with 20-inch tyres, and you can take that with you on trains, but not buses. Actually, you can take it with you on buses as well. I did find the awkwardness of them, the size of them. That was a problem for myself. No passengers. Whereas the electric scooter folds up neatly and can stand or sit next to you. They remove the structure, the power of the electric scooter as a condition, which I think is excellent, because while scooters are good, this little hill, perhaps it's my weight, but I've seen others do it as well, this little hill really can't be handled by the 250 watt motors, or perhaps it's a 350 watt motor, but a bit more power the speed limited would allow people to ride up and down or ride up hills more readily. Now, for those interested, I'm riding a Ninbot. ES2, I think it is. Rated to do about I think probably about 20 kilometres. Full charge. This was 60% charge when I started out. Couldn't find a charger, unfortunately. It's been sitting around for a while and I haven't charged it for a while. Has 3 levels of power. I find the bottom level, the first level, is really not very powerful, can't even handle the smallest of slopes. The sports mode at the top is quite good, but it chews through the battery really fast. So I think by default this came on the second level, which allows me to do most of the small hills. Readily. So here we have the new Eltham intersection, which has replaced the roundabout. And they've added a bit more in the way of bike paths. So now with these updated rules, it's going quite well. It really is. I rarely, in the past, before they clamped down on scooters, I got the scooter a couple of years ago. The laws weren't clear, but I was optimistic. I generally don't ride on the roads if I can possibly help it. I don't think it's safe. And it can be quite sometimes it's just a matter of getting used to it. Something like 90-95% of people who end up in hospital in the States with scooter accidents are either not wearing a helmet or alcohol and drug affected. So if you want to reduce your chances significantly of ending up in hospital, don't ride the electric scooter without a helmet, and don't be drunk, intoxicated or drug affected. And of course always ride defensively. You never know when there's a bump in the path, a car comes out of nowhere, a small kid jumps across in front of you, or a turtle just gets in your way. Heaven forbid a turtle got in your way. It will really slow you down if you just decide to walk in front of you. Okay, here we go, back onto the road, suburban street, 50 km/h default speed limit. I have to say that riding along the street is far, far more comfortable than riding along the footpath. So that's a bonus for the laws. We just went past one of those, what I call street furniture, a divider in the road to help people walk across the road, which is all well and good. But if you're on a bike or a scooter and somebody's coming up behind you, they can't easily overtake you because it's too narrow for them. And here we get to the not turning. Okay, I'm very happy with the way things are going so far. You get to use the bike paths when you want, you can use the road when you want. But do keep an eye out on the footpath here and notice how there's almost, if not nobody using them. So it really is underutilised. It's a bit hard for me to indicate. What I was interested in then was I applied the brakes, and with that car approaching from the right hand side, which I have to give way to it, I thought, oh, this is taking a little while to slow down because I'm using the electric brake. There is a back brake on these, a manual foot brake. But certainly I can understand how people, if they misjudge that braking, could easily go out in front of the car. So something to be mindful of as you approach intersections, to slow right down. Trundling along at 19 kilometres an hour here. I do wonder about wearing knee and elbow pads. Because really, if you're in a car, bike or electric scooter, it's only a matter of time before you have some sort of accident. It's just be almost impossible not to have one. Although I don't recall having a okay. Generally, I don't recall having a accident in the car, but thinking back, there were a couple of, let's just say, loving touches between vehicles, mirrors. But one or two. Oh, running into the concrete at the supermarkets that they put in front of the cars is often one that gets a lot of cars. So that one can be a bit tricky. Motorbike rider, I came off going over tram tracks one time. Car skidded along and ended up stopping at the back of an elderly lady's car. No damage was done. She was okay, so all was good. But another time when I went around the corner, I went to, it was just coming out the side street and just laid it down a little bit too hard, and the exhaust pipes touched the ground, causing the bike to lift and skid out from underneath me. So again, not too much for the bikes. I did run up, but where the old Target reservoir is, head down, pedalling my backside off. To get up the hill to the traffic lights, and lo and behold, I didn't see the car was stopped in front of me. So I've still got the scar on my chin for doing that one. Electric scooter, this one. No real accidents, but a couple of dumb things. For example, when you go across the road and up onto the path, you've got the guttering, but sometimes I've misjudged my curve and I've ended up in the grass, and the wheel has sunk down into the grass, causing me to stumble, not fall, but just stumble. And that's all okay. The bike, well, you saw one of my little falls on the bike. That was me just accidentally touching the pedal and engaging the electric motor. we go. Now this is the type of area where, for example, there's no one on the footpath. The road is shoppers. And I think it would be better to be actually on the footpath. A small bike lane, which is sufficient. Oh, my first red light. Super excited. Here we are, stopping in at our local McDonald's, and as per usual, I order my normal little Happy Meal because I'm a happy person. Here we go.